Good morning and welcome to another edition of the AY Sabbath School vlog. Today is Tuesday, May 7th, and today's lesson is entitled Jonah's Psalm. Now, in the lesson, we find Jonah in the belly of a big fish. Why do we find him here? Well, he was not worshiping idols, he was not apostatizing, but he was running away from the Word of God. He was running away from the responsibility that God had bestowed upon him. And because of that, he ran away. He fled. He tried to escape. And that's where we find Jonah, here in the belly of this fish that swallowed him whole when he was thrown into the water and the big storm was arising. Now you might also ask yourself, why a big fish? God could have sent something else. He could have just pretty much saved Jonah and told him, hey, listen, you're going to do it. But why did God use this method and have him stay in there for the amount of time that he did? If we think about it, God didn't call Jonah because Jonah was the best qualified. God could have very easily said, you know what, you decided to run from me. What I'm going to do, I'm going to talk to one of my other thousands of prophets that I could use, and they're going to do it for me. Forget you. No, he didn't do that. He didn't give up on Jonah. He actually used this situation to save Jonah. Sometimes God uses things like this, like the ministry, to save the minister. And if we look at what Jonah did throughout the time that he was in there, he meditated upon his mistake, his sin, which was to run away from God. And it allowed him to change his heart. It allowed him to realize, Lord, why am I running from you? I'm so sorry. He repented from his sin. And after his change, God allowed this big fish to spit him out and pretty much put him on his way towards Nineveh. Now, why did God call Jonah? It's not that he was qualified. And I know I mentioned this earlier, but I just want to reiterate this point because if we look back at Aaron, God chose Aaron to be the high priest of the Israelites. But at the same time that Moses was being given the law of God, we see on the bottom of Mount Sinai that Aaron was making a golden calf to worship. He was leading the people of Israel astray. Yet God chose him to be the spiritual leader of these people. God used this to save Aaron. He took Aaron, a weak person, from being weak, flipped it around, and made him strong. He made him a completely different person, fit to be the high priest. I heard this saying once, and I really liked it because it's true. God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. Sometimes I think to myself, Lord, why, what am I supposed to do for you? I don't have anything special, but I've come to realize that God doesn't just pick the person that's going to have the best education. He's not going to pick the person that has the best voice. He's going to choose a person and use the talents that that person has to work for him. Maybe you're asking yourself, what can I do? I don't have anything. Well, just allow God to work through you. Everybody has specific talent that God has given them. And again, God's not going to call just the qualified. He will qualify you to work for him. If we look at many of the prophets in the Bible, not one was, there might have been a few in there, but most of them were not these holy people who were just perfect. A lot of them had flaws, but God still used them to bring his message to the people. He used them to minister unto them. And we need to take that and just allow ourselves to realize that God has the best in mind for you. God saved Jonah. If we look back again at Jonah, God saved Jonah from himself in this. he chose Jonah. Jonah, even though I know you're going to run, even though I know you have all these flaws, even though I know you have this in your heart, I'm still going to use you because I want to save you. I'm not going to give up on you. Yes, you're running away from me, but no, I'm not going to give up on you. I want you to be prosperous. And which I want to share this verse with you because it's one of my favorite verses in the Bible, and it's found in Jeremiah 29, verse 11. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11 says the following: For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. The reason that's one of my favorites is because it reminds me that God has the best in mind for me. He has the best in mind for you. So if it is that God's calling you to do something, heed his word. We need to, just like the verse this week says, we need to make good what we have vowed. If we have vowed, Lord, I want to serve you, we need to make good. We need to get in line with the will of God and allow him to use us for his use. No matter what it may be, no matter how we may feel, we must realize that God will be with us and he will help us get through.